Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 6th of December. And look at that. All we are is backfilling into this previous press. But interestingly enough, if you look at the DOC here, all it is a lack of short-term buyers lifting anything up. We haven't seen any of the new fund money come in yet for the new month. So they're either holding back, looking for better price, but we're still well above the ABM yellow, which is another important thing. It just shows you how far outside the range we got. We had that wild day with the whole ABC news, and the Flynn situation, and then that died down. And now we have the reality of, okay, our tax cut's going to get finalized. It's still, well, it looks good, not done yet. And until it's actually done, there's going to be some reservations. Plus, it's just got a little way out of range. 2630 was about where we thought things should settle out at. That eventually you could move up, towards the 2660 range, but just wasn't looking all that particularly powerful, especially since we kept seeing overbought once we got to our 2630 target. So here we are, easing off though. You can see we're beginning that now. This will potentially represent the first day where we're actually moving from the extreme histogram out of overbought or warning levels. And so that does set up opportunity. We'll see how it develops. But the weakness from the NQ, NASDAQ has been much more pronounced. And you can see that it is not liking the short-term buyers. So it's had that support, and it wasn't enough to keep things going. So there's a little bit more trouble on the tech side of things, which has been weighing down in general, the overall. Euro coming right back to the bottom side of this upper range up near 118, still way elevated. Just an interesting one, but it certainly helps support price where they are on the S&P, that's for sure. And flight to quality, everyone going back into, and we're at the upper range of TLT for quite some time here. And you can see this has been a constant level for some period, and if it breaks through it, it's crazy. But go figure, the probability then of the Fed increasing in December may be less than some believe. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge surprise, and that is really going to throw a lot of people off. I would find it hard to imagine that Yellen isn't going to try and do a raise right before she's out, but we'll see. And oil, just holding on, right where it's been staying. It's not going to move much. And gold still under pressure, simply because it lacks any follow-through. And again, as you see gold suffer and Bitcoin and some of these other cryptocurrencies rise, you can see the transition that people are choosing to go with the cryptocurrencies over the metal, which I think could be a new paradigm shift. So if we look at the intraday, and we talked about this in the pre-market as it was happening, every time we were getting to the 50%, we just kept failing off that, so expected new lows. We actually broke above it midway through. After an extended run period, we had a couple of dips going back and came up to the peak, but literally right after it did, we went straight into a DOC spread with the orange peaking, and sure enough, that was a perfect signal, and it just cascaded. And so that's currently where we're at. Not too shocking. I think we should start to see some support around here. We're starting to see a little bit of improvement in the shakeout, but this would be about the area that we would start to see some support to move us right back towards that 2630 range, which I think is going to be sort of a test area. It is not going to be shocking if we follow a little bit further. There isn't a reset at this particular point yet from a 5K standpoint, so maybe it goes a little bit more before it does that turnaround, but I think that's where we can start to look at it. That's what I'll be looking to cover for the shorts. And as soon as we get a reset there, then that would be the point to think about doing that. Just because if I start orange coming through in these things, I wouldn't expect much of a return unless I get a steel reset, either skyrocketing through the 13.5, but more importantly, coming all the way down. That's usually going to be your trigger point. So keep that one in mind when you're looking at that. As always, though, trade well, and now that I'm doing a little bit better, hope to be on the Skype chat a little more frequent. with my head not pounding as hard as it has been. As always, though, trade well.